Hello, it's me, Jess. Welcome to my channel. I'm here with another channeled message. This is a specific message. It might resonate with you, it might not. Okay, first of all, I apologize if you can hear some background noise. There's a lot going on around me, but this message is coming now, so I'm sitting down to channel this. So, this message, I'm hearing you've got a soulmate coming in, okay? But this is a different kind of soulmate. And this soulmate, I feel, is coming in for a masculine energy. But again, take this however it's resonating. But I heard this whole kind of conversation playing out in my mind. And it was this female energy that was very dignified, actually. And very like higher morals, higher principles, something here like that. Very beautiful person. And I heard her saying to a masculine energy, look, you're a very attractive guy on a lot of levels, but it's not right between us. And I think you know that it's not right between us, and it would just be something to do. And I want to show you, this feels like on a soul level, but also on a practical level, I want to show you what's more important here. I want to show you what we can build, and even more importantly, what we can sustain together. But I am determined to be an asset wherever I go, is what I'm hearing. And I'm determined to be an asset to this company or this territory, whatever this is. I'm determined to be an asset here and a blessing to your wife. And I'm hearing that said very sincerely. So this, I feel like, I don't know why I'm hearing this now. I don't know where you're at in this process, whether this has happened, and if you are a masculine, you could, or if you're feminine, take this however it resonates. You could have felt rebuffed by this person, or you could have felt rejected, but it's because you misunderstand the purpose of this connection. And I do feel like there could be some element of karma here between the two of you, where she's also learning how to like recognize the worthiness and the value in herself, and understand that she doesn't want to be messy. This is somebody who's like very much not messy, and they are discovering that I think they're attractive, but it's like the value that they have, I'm hearing like one whose worth lies far within. This person has a lot to give, and I think they're learning something about that. Like, no, I have something more valuable to give to you. And the reason this is coming in is actually a nod to something that has gone on for this masculine in his past, where he, I think, destroyed a relationship with, I just heard, a really good girl, his soulmate. And through a series of unfortunate decisions, I think he's made himself miserable. And I think he realizes that he is trapped in a situation, and he's looking to escape that trap on one hand. So he's kind of split in his soul. So it's like, I think he does look to distract himself with a lot of things, and just frivolous relationships on the side could be another way that he makes his current situation bearable for him, in order to try to keep that together for like appearances or something like that. But his soul is actually striving for, I'm hearing, its independence and its liberation. It is still trying to learn certain lessons. And so this is actually a soulmate coming in. And I had a message come out not too long ago about like this soulmate energy that's coming in. And I feel like this is so specific, but it's like if you are a masculine that is married and you're in an unhappy situation, and it was through a series of very strategic events where, and I feel like you've built something up for yourself on a material level here as well, because you were trying to get someone's attention, whether you could admit that to yourself or not. You were trying to get someone's attention here from your past, and you could have involved a third party to try and dangle in front of that person. They were paying attention or they weren't, but this was definitely the wrong tact. And I think there's some part of your soul, I kind of feel like you've resolved in yourself that you want to meet up with this soulmate that you hurt and left in the dirt, like in your past. You have resolved somewhere within you that you would like that person back, that you want to be the person that can sustain a relationship with that person. And so here come your lessons, okay? And your guides don't want you to misinterpret what's happening here. This is not a plaything. This is not meant to be frivolous. This is not meant to be schmegdual between the two of you. And I think you're learning how to be who she is. This person that's coming in, and I don't know, there's a risk that you could fall to temptation, because I do think there's a lesson on her side here as well, but she seems further along and she seems more resolved in this. So I do think there could be a mutual attraction here, but it's learning to withstand that. And I think you're learning to be like she is, where you can then turn around and say, maybe to somebody who interfered in a connection like in the past, you're attractive, but it's not right between us. And I think you know that too. And I am resolved to be an asset wherever it is that I go. I'm resolved to not make a mess, a minefield for people to have to navigate. And I'm resolved to be a blessing to your wife. And I have people around me who will be a blessing to my wife, whether she's in the picture now or whether she's not. And that's a key here, because not for all of these men are they in a relationship. I think for a lot of them they are. And I do think the wife here is actually very strategic because there's some kind of major karmic repercussion that occurs between these two if they kind of, I'm seeing that scene from Aladdin where it's like touch nothing but the lamp. Like if they go touching things they shouldn't, I feel like this would really blow up in both of their faces and paint both of them as the bad guy when they're actually not. Because I think this wife here that this man has attached himself to is potentially very strategic. And so she would be framing the, she can sense the soulmate connection between the two of them, feels threatened by it. So she's also having to be confronted with her karmas here as well. But I don't think this is the soulmate that she interfered with. I think this is a different one, but it still agitates her. I'm hearing her demons. The light here is going to agitate. She doesn't like being compared to this person. It's friction in a very similar way to this other kind of soulmate. But there's a big payoff here. There's a big boon energy because what he's practicing, this man, is seeing a woman for her value that has nothing to do with her availability to him, her schmegduality, because I think that this man has gone down the wrong road. And I think that he's in a bit of a habit here where he kind of objectifies women. He reduces them down to that kind of, and so he practices this schmoozing, this, it's very shallow and it keeps him on a superficial level. And so this woman here is an opportunity for this man to have a genuine friendship with an attractive woman of the opposite sex, which I think, well, you get what I'm saying. Or, I mean, for some, there could be some like gay or bisexual couples here. So take this however it is coming through, but I feel like this person is in feminine energy. They're receptive, because there might even be like a power imbalance here where he thinks, oh, well, this is just kind of in the bag. I'm used to this kind of routine, this shallow routine. I just heard shallow how. But she is something different and he needs to recognize that in her, that she is meant to be a friend to him, that maybe they're actually quite similar. But I think that they can actually build and sustain something, which is something that he's learning. He's learning how to work with a woman in this way. So he's learning how to build and sustain something. And this is on, I think, fiscal level. I think it's like a company or something that he's built up. And I think she'll actually be kind of above her because this wife is very strategic. And I don't know I don't know how long she'll be on his team. I think she wants something from this connection, but I think as soon as she finds it appropriate or good for her to throw him under the bus or something, I think she will. And I think that this other soulmate is somehow some kind of a protector or a buffer or like somehow prevents that or is an obstacle to that or it's some kind of spiritual protection that's coming in as well, but they have to be able to maintain their relationship as like platonic friends and understanding that it's not right between the two of them. Because even though there might be an attraction, it's understanding that it's not right. And there's a higher lesson that's going on here as well that is something like we should all want what is ours. We should seek to become the truest version of ourselves. Because I feel like this man, again, he's fallen and he thinks that success in this life is going after the tallest peak that society deems like the highest peak, when really his truest happiness and him truly being successful, and I'm talking about in a well-rounded way where he's actually happy and he has built something not just on a fiscal level because of his fear and insecurity and like in a really antagonistic energy towards a soulmate that he should have been very loving and protective towards. It's learning how to have built something in his family life, in his emotional self as well. And that's success here for this man. And I think this soulmate here is going to show him that, like the sweetness, the innocence that can occur between a man and a woman, that it doesn't always have to be exploitative. It doesn't always have to be selfish. It doesn't always have to be sneaky. And giving him a sense of the fulfillment and the possibilities. This is genuine builder energy here. It's teaching this man how to build with an attractive woman that has so much more to offer than that. Because for some of these men, they were lost in the sauce in the past. Like they were comparing a soulmate energy with people because he's like, well, I don't know. All of these women are very physically attractive and I don't know how to tell the difference. I'm hearing that quote from the Swan Princess where the prince, with Odette and when she's finally grown up and she's turned into a very beautiful woman and he says something, or his little helper man is trying to help him make conversation, and he's like, what do you notice about her besides her beauty? And he's like, well, what else is there? And he says that in front of her and he offends her greatly. So I think this man has just learned to see women in a very reductive way, and he couldn't see the worth internally. Yeah, I'm hearing one whose worth lies far within. So he couldn't see the worth. He couldn't see the value. He couldn't see that a lot of these women were sabotaging, and there was one that was genuine and cared for him and wanted to build something with him and wanted to be treated fairly. And I feel like this soulmate is a soulmate of hers and a soulmate of his, and is has potentially been through this herself with a soulmate from her past. So there could be a bit of a recycling energy on a spiritual level. For some, this woman that's coming in is married, is in another relationship here, and that also could be why it's not in their best interest to do that, even though there is an attraction. Because I think this man just always goes in for attraction if he can. He gets very strategic and he gets very selfish, and it's almost like that. The way that I eat caramel chews, which is just like, sometimes when I'm sad or I need a little pick me up, it's like, I feel like that's the way this man uses women. Like, and that's another karmic lesson here, is that human beings are human beings and they're not playthings. And I feel like he gets, like dazzled, or he gets, whenever he sees an attractive woman, it's like he can't help but just see her as an object, or for his own gratification, or think about what role she's going to play for him instead of being herself. And I think that's part of the key to unlocking their business potential together. Is I really think this is happening on a business front, or some kind of creative front that could potentially like become a business, is that he has to see her worth and value. He has to nurture that from a selfless place. He has to see some kind of potential, some kind of value in her that has nothing to do with her appearance and her physical beauty, and has everything to do with her talent and her heart and, something here, and then nurture that to fruition. These are the skills that he needs in order to be able to return to his soulmate. She is a path back to his soulmate. Like to his romantic soulmate that he wants to repair things with, that he wants to be with, that is his, some kind of big, big love. I just heard endless love. You're my endless love. Yeah, so however you relate to that, twin flame, soulmate, endless love, something like that. But she represents a path back to that. Even if this man is not married, or potentially from her influence, he's going to get a better look at, and a better understanding at his own choices, like the person he's chosen to partner with, and their own sabotaging nature, and why they're not this. Seeing a glimpse of this person's inner worth and inner value and who they are, I think is shining a light on this very sabotaging energy that this man has chosen to partner with in his romantic life. So for some, they may well end up divorcing, but even still, I don't think he's supposed to make a move romantically towards this soulmate partner. I think he's potentially supposed to be alone, which for a lot of these men is another soul lesson that they are learning, but he won't feel alone. Actually, I think he's... it might be weird, like on the home front, but I think, yeah, and I just heard, and you won't need money because you won't be alone, from that MIA song, Missing in Action. Yeah, so it's like, I don't know, he's realizing that he has been alone, I think, and that I think there's community around this man, to do with his business or with his job, and it's potentially coming in of nurturing a relationship with his soulmate. Like it could be people that she brings towards him to meet and to have. These are healthier energies for him to be associated with and to be in relationship with. They're not clout chasing. They're genuine people. They're creative kind of people or something. And I think he'll feel more fulfilled, actually. So for some, he'll remain alone, and for some, there's going to be another energy that comes in on a romantic front. I don't really think he'd be interested in that, to be honest, if he's really real with himself. For some, this man is he has like hobbies or travel or something that he's wanted to do alone, and he doesn't want to have to run that by somebody else or anything. And it's actually very freeing, because for some, it's like this man couldn't be alone. He feels like being alone is a waste of time. So I think for some, this man will take some kind of like, I'm kind of seeing very rugged hiking trips, but this is like, somewhere in the world, like he'll be able to afford that or something, and he'll realize that, yeah, because for some, I think his path is alone, where he just is realizing he has enough money to sustain himself and to be able to live the life that he needs to live in order to like rejuvenate himself. But this will be very fulfilling, and I think he's going to realize that he was so much more fulfilled on his own in a community with friends. And it is like almost like this soulmate is that jewel in the crown, but it's a platonic energy, because he needs to learn how to be friends with a woman, this guy. Even this romantic partner from his past, I think she wanted to be partners, and partner is friend. It is friend, but they had something special between them, but they had a friendship energy that needed to be tended to as well. Like you just don't treat your friends a certain way. So I think this man has a lot to do with lessons of friendship, and I think in this group as well, like especially if he does divorce. I think there could be maybe practice for him to be this soulmate. how this soulmate was for him, he will be in other relationships. So he could be hit on by a married woman who thinks because he's single and she's willing that they can stoop low together. And I think he will then be the person to say, I will be a blessing to your husband. I'm actually encouraging community bonds, and I think if you're having problems in your marriage, that's something for the two of you to work out. I'm also not interested in somebody who wants to sneak around, because I find that grotesque, because I find that I actually like being around people. I think you'll learn that from the soulmate. I've learned the value of being around people who hold themselves to a standard, and I just find that so immensely attractive. And I find you a little less attractive now that you've made this pass at me, to be honest. I'm going to pray for you, and he's got to learn how to stand in that. And so for some of you, this is the path, the journey that's opening up to you. And it's coming through this female, it feels like a female soulmate to a masculine who has partnered with the wrong person, but she is very much connected to a soulmate here from his past. And she may have been through something very similar herself. But she is strong enough to, or she should be, there could be some kind of karmic testing going in on her side. So for some of you, you are this female soulmate, and it's like you're going to get a job somewhere and you're going to have to resist that, and you're going to mirror back to that person like, this just isn't right between us, even though there is attraction here. And learning how to be that, learning how to hold a boundary, learning how to hold space. So, and learning what you can build together. So that's what I have for you, but your guides don't want you to misunderstand this opportunity. They don't want you to misunderstand this person in your life. So that's what I have for you. If that resonates, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Bye.